Good morning. It is Friday, March 27th. We are 90 days out from June 25th. Your DTD2 wrapping up this week. You're calling your I's and your Q's, and you're texting your C's. That just keeps you on track. It's the DTD2, do the database too, just making sure you're staying in contact with everybody in your database. It's going to happen. Honestly, as your friend and your coach, I hope it happens this summer. I hope at some point you walk into a backyard. It's my backyard barbecue theory. It's always food related. I can't help it. And you're going to march into a backyard and somebody's going to be like, oh, Katie, how's it going? Like, and you can see everything dawning on your friend's face as they remember that you're a realtor, but they haven't seen you and you haven't reminded them that you're a realtor. And they're about to tell you, yeah, we just bought our house. And like everything starts to slow down and you're like, I was going to grab some potato salad, but now I want to be sick because we didn't do our job. That's it. That's it. We didn't do our job. You missed talking to Katie because you never got to her letter in the alphabet because you've been inconsistent. And it's okay. It happens to the best of you. Here's what we need to remember. It is our job. And I hate to use the job word. I know you left some other professional commitment or you finished school and you came right into real estate. And I love that about you. It's a massive opportunity. Everyone who is here, for the most part, said, you know what? I want to control my calendar and my bank account. And yet we get here and we stay in employment status or we don't learn to be a good owner and employee. And that's the biggest struggle with real estate. You get into this industry and like there's so much freedom. It's just me and mittens. We could make pancakes today if we want. We can watch The Price is Right. We could go to the beach. I could do some lead gen. Like all the choices are there. All the choices are there. All the options are wide open. You are an independent contractor. As much as you might hear me and others on the staff or your fellow agents banging the drum of it sucks, but you need to spend your mornings doing the boring, mundane, it's a French term, the bullshittery things, the jobby job things. And yet we just fall out of it. And you never get to Katie. And Katie hasn't talked to you in a while. And she hasn't heard from you. And she's like, maybe she's not doing real estate anymore. And she finishes telling you all about the house she bought with that other company with the gold jackets or the hot air balloon. And you're like, good for you. That, should it happen to you, I would assume would cause more pain than just doing the damn work, which is going to take some time, right? Every year I throw a different hashtag. If you look in the morning news under KWikSTart for 2026, it's a big, long one. I know nobody's doing hashtags anymore. I'm going to call them hash browns anyway, because it's got to be food related. Consistency over intensity. And that's what it comes down to. It is consistency over intensity. You can't do 4,000 hours of lead generation in one day and be like, nailed it for the month. I'll be back later. Because that doesn't build the fast twitch muscle. That's not going to build the habit. And habits are formed through daily discipline. Now, I know I say that word and you hear discipline, and it really depends on your upbringing and how you were raised. I grew up in an Irish Catholic Vietnam veterans household, so discipline was discipline. We had chores on the weekend. Everyone was assigned to dishes. Like me and my two sisters, you looked at the calendar and it either said S, J, or T for Stephanie, Jennifer, or Timothy. That's how we knew who was doing the dishes after dinner that night. Because it wasn't going to be mom and dad. They cooked. And then on the weekends, we were assigned to cleaning upstairs, downstairs, and I was a masshole, so we had a carport. So it said upstairs, downstairs, or carport, which means you were like sweeping the deck and all that kind of stuff. I was the only son in an Irish Catholic family, so like the driveway, that was me. My sisters were always getting ready to come out and help. That's for therapy. We'll talk about it later. Anyway, so I looked at that calendar to know if me or one of my sisters was doing the dishes. Are you looking at your calendar to know if today is your turn? Is it your turn to do the dishes today? And as a solo artist in real estate, it's your turn every day to do the dishes. If you're a fan of our dear friends down the street, I know it's a split tribe, and I don't dislike Starbucks, but they're not a sponsor yet. Dunkin' Donuts isn't either, but there's still time. You know what? Ages ago, there used to be a commercial with Fred the baker at Dunkin' Donuts, and he would get up at the crack of stupid at home and be like, time to make the donuts, and he would shuffle into Dunkin' Donuts and make the donuts. That needs to be our mentality with what we do with real estate. Every morning, like it or not, we have to make the donuts, or the bear claws, as it were. And it's that consistency of doing it every day. And you've been to Family Reunion or Mega or some event, or you've seen Gary speak in some format. And if you've been around long enough, and if you haven't, welcome, and you'll hear this soon enough. Gary wants us to be doing lead generation like 38 hours a day. That might be a little bit of an exaggeration, but it's not far off. The key and operative word is every day. And here's my roadmap. Love Gary to death. We're all here because of Gary. So yes, standing on the shoulders of Gary. Yes, and I would love you to get to a point where, because you've heard me say this a million times, I don't want you doing lead gen over the weekend. That doesn't mean I don't want you to be alive with air in your lungs, listening for people to say, we're thinking about moving. If you hear that tomorrow at your niece's soccer game, it's spring, it's not soccer. Lacrosse, softball, baseball, tackle them and introduce yourself. If you're in the wild and you hear real estate on a Saturday or Sunday, get involved in the conversation. I'm talking about eye black, mouthpiece, helmet, headset, head down, heart up, focused lead generation. Like I'm going into the office, I'm hitting the phones, I'm doing the DTD2. Really? That shouldn't extend into the weekends. And everybody's schedule is different too, but I'm saying I would like you doing that during the week. Weekends should be for your showings and your open houses and being with your family, celebrating your faith. Now, there's a practice, a challenge. It's going on during Bold right now. That it's the Bold 100. Because the challenge, and you're going to hear this coming up with Breakthrough. We're going to start the Breakthrough program. Starts Monday the 13th, right after we graduate Bold, which graduates in a couple of Tuesdays on the 7th. But you're going to hear the challenge or the baseline for Breakthrough, the new course that we're bringing on Monday, April 13th, is going to be 10 conversations a day. And you're hearing in Bold right now, which is they amp it up. They want 20 conversations or interactions a day. What number's right for you? I don't know. I'm not sure what your goals are. You know what your goals are. And if you and I have spoken, then we know what your goals are. Because the question that people always ask is, well, Timmy, based on what I want to do and X and Y and Z and the factors and the weather and the market and interest rates, how many people do I need to talk to? I don't know. Because I don't know what your level of intensity is. I don't know what your level of consistency is, but I know the consistency is more important than the intensity. So it's about what you're willing to do as well. We're wrapping up Q1. We're in the final days of Q1. And you have to ask yourself, in the next 6 months, because that's really all you have left. Let me explain, right? We always talk about, what did I say just now? We're 90 days out from June 25th. When we hit April 1, we're talking about July 1. So you really have Q2 and Q3 to make sure that you're closing out. And I know everyone's different. Are you looking at the year as a business person and saying it's J1 to D31 and you're just calling it the calendar year? Or do you say, well, no, I look at it, based on when I roll. The end of my financial year is when I roll and then my cap resets. However you look at it. I don't know when everybody's roll date is. I know when January 1st is and when D31 is. And if we're looking at it like that and we're focused on the year of 2026, We've got 6 months left when we hit April 1st. Because when you start doing October 1st activities, those are January 1st results. God willing. God willing. Because it takes about 90 days from kitchen table to closing table. That's why that's important. So do I want you to have that July barbecue interaction with one of your friends that you told you were a realtor a couple years ago, a few years ago, and then they end up using somebody else because you didn't stay in touch? No, I don't want that to happen for you. And when it does, it's okay, because you can recover from that. Even if you're completely focused and you have all your systems firing, you're still going to miss a deal or two. But if you feel like you're missing more than your fair share of deals happening around you in your sphere of influence, then we have some work to do. And I promise you, it's not about perfection. It's about persistence and consistency. You don't need to have a 2-hour conversation with your friend Julie every year. You need to have a 2-minute conversation with your friend Julie every quarter. The DTD2 brings her name up, her initial up, once every quarter. You talk to your people 4 times a year. Unless you're a Talkosaurus Rex, you're like, you know what? I understand it's 4 conversations a year with the 36 Connect, but I like talking to my people more than that. Then you get people that you're going to talk to more than that because they're just closer to you. And you golf with them, or you pickleball with them, or you play tennis, or you're in men's league basketball, or whatever. But it's going to get away from you if we don't build a plan and install a system and model and do it consistently. Yesterday, we had our Q1 or Q2 prep business planning clinic. And we talked about just that. We talked about willingness. We talked about what are you willing to do? There's thousands of things you could do for prospecting and marketing. What are you willing to do? Don't tell yourself that you're going to do 40 different things to finish out the year. Figure out what your core 4 are. And if you're wondering, nationally, the consensus is it's events, open houses, social media, sphere of influence. That's just what people are reporting back have been predominantly most successful for them. So join us this morning. We'll be in Fight Club in just a little bit. That starts at 9 o'clock, KWFightClub.com. Start doing those interactions. Start having those conversations. Make sure Julie doesn't buy a house with somebody else. 10:30 today, the ALC will be meeting in Portsmouth today at 12. You can join me right back here on the intertubes at timsoffice.com. We're going to have the midday protocol, talk about how Fight Club went, and ask about your interactions and conversations, your appointments, and your agreements. And we'll share, before we break for the weekend, any buyer needs or new listings that are coming so you guys can be on top of your game for your people. Then at 1:30, you got Dr. Jason Westcott live on Keller TV for Back to Basics with KWCLM Forms. If I can help with anything, let me know. It is 603-834-2856. You can also book my face at meetwithcoach.com. It is consistency over intensity every time. Just lean in. Be 1% better today for yourself, for your business, for your future, for everything that you deserve. I want you to be shelthy about this, selfishly healthy. Go get your unfair share. You and your loved ones deserve it. And I promise you, someone is looking for your help today. And they deserve nothing but the best. And you bring the best. Take care.